If you are a frequent traveler, this video may not be for you because you've probably already encountered this and you know the information that I'm about to provide. But if you are a first-time traveler and you live in the United States going to Europe, stick around because I'm going to explain the difference between travel adapters and travel converters and why it is important to pick the right one to not destroy your device. So if you don't already know, the European outlets are different from the American outlets. This is a travel adapter. Make sure I get my terminology right. So this is the adapter, and here I have a lot of different ones here, but I'm only talking about US and Europe in this video. So this one here is what a typical outlet in the United States looks like. Like it's just a thin rectangle. Now, this one here is the European outlet. It's rounded. You can see it is different. This is the adapter. I can use this for my phone or any other dual voltage device. The device will tell you if it's dual voltage. Good rule of thumb is if it's charged by USB, it will probably be dual voltage. That is not always the case. It's always best practice to check. You can always read on there, but you will see on here that it is no voltage conversion. That means if you are bringing an appliance like a hair dryer or a steamer, which I like to do, I like to bring my steamer with me. They're not easily accessible in hotels. You normally just get an iron. This will not work. This is really a rookie mistake, but I have made it. As a child, I was born and lived in Ukraine, and there were times where we had American appliances and I would mistakenly use an adapter instead of a converter. At best case, the appliance will break. Worst case, a fire could happen, or you can burn the electric wiring of where you're staying, which can cause a lot of issues. So to avoid any issues, this is my travel steamer. It is not dual voltage. A lot of the times it will give you the voltage, but it will specifically say dual voltage. So if you're not sure and dual voltage is not on the appliance, best practice is to assume that it is not. So this steamer cannot be plugged into this adapter. What we need is a converter. So here is that converter. The converter here also has an adapter. So it's very important that you pay attention to where you're plugging in a steamer, for example. Here it says for single use only, so you could not plug in this steamer in the bottom. You have to use the dual voltage side, and you pull this down and you can plug it in. I used this adapter on my last trip to Italy and it worked great. I didn't have any issues. My steamer is still working. It converted just great because you can come across a converter that will just either destroy the appliance, cause a fire, melt down. It's best to invest in one that works well. It also has a USB port, so you can use the USB port here as well for your phone. So this is kind of like a 3-in-1 type of converter and adapter. But again, when you're purchasing these items, you need to make sure that you are reading it carefully, because this entire thing also came with a set of adapters for different countries, one of them being Europe. So an adapter can be just this little thing. If your device is dual voltage, all you do is plug in your American outlet into this and plug it into the wall. However, if it's not dual voltage, you've got a problem. The last thing I want to mention is even if you get one of these, you may not be able to use it because of how bulky they are made. And I haven't found one that isn't so bulky, but there are a lot of outlets that are just a circle and they're indented into like a casing, which does not allow for this to be plugged in. Luckily, my last trip in Italy, the hotel had outlets kind of like this one that comes out of the wall, but instead of being horizontal like this, they were vertical, so you had to flip it and plug it in, which is fine. That doesn't mean that this won't work. It worked great, but just be prepared to either have to find a single outlet that this will fit, or just know that you may not have one depending on where you are, but it's better to be prepared than not to have one at all. I hope this helps.